Alright everyone, today we're playing DMZ in 2025. Remember DMZ? This was really popular back in the day. And when I mean back in the day, I mean like 2022, 2023. It's not too long ago, but it still feels like forever. Because for some reason, like in the middle, towards the end of Modern Warfare 2's life cycle, they just completely abandoned DMZ and didn't do shit with it in Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 6. So we're kind of just stuck in limbo. So the game is basically the way it was 2 years ago. It hasn't changed much because they haven't really updated it. And it's so strange to me because DMZ was really, really popular during its life cycle. I knew a lot of people that would play DMZ and nothing else. No Warzone, no multiplayer, just DMZ. And if they kept working on it, it would have had a lot of potential, I feel, to be one of the next big things in Call of Duty, like next to Warzone and multiplayer and zombies. DMZ could have been that thing. But for whatever reason, they abandoned it despite how popular it was. Like, yeah, sure, it lost a lot of momentum as the seasons went on, and there were a lot of people who just moved on from it. But I think if they put as many resources that they put like into Warzone and multiplayer into DMZ, it really could have been huge. And I don't know if DMZ is going to come back in Modern Warfare 4. I'm not sure. People are hoping that it will, but I don't know. That being said, there are still players in 2025. I was able to get into a match pretty quickly. Like, I wasn't waiting for that long. Maybe about a minute or 2 minutes, something like that. If you want to play it, you have to launch it through Modern Warfare 2. So you don't have to actually own the game because it's free to play, but you have to launch Modern Warfare 2 in order to access it because it's part of that game, and it's not part of Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 6 or any of the newer games. And on PC, it was weird. Like, I launched Modern Warfare 2, and I couldn't find it, but then I had to go to the Call of Duty app and go all the way to the end where it shows you your library of all the Call of Duty games that you have within the Call of Duty launcher, and then you have to click on Modern Warfare 2, and then within that, click Launch DMZ. So, yeah, it took me a little bit just to figure out how to even play it in 2025. It's very hidden in the menus. For some reason, they don't want you to play it. I hope they don't do what they did with Warzone 1 and just shut it down for no reason. But it definitely provides a unique experience that is still worthwhile today, especially if you never really gave it a chance. I never really played it before, because I never really played Modern Warfare 2 before. Well, I mean, I owned the game, but I hated it and didn't really put a lot of time into it, so I kind of skipped over DMZ. But DMZ is basically a mix between, think of Spec Ops, like the co-op missions from the old Modern Warfare 2 and 2019, and this game even has some Spec Ops missions, but it's Spec Ops mixed with, like, Outbreak from Zombies in the sense that you have, like, this big open world where you have these objectives to complete, and then it obviously also plays a lot like Warzone in the sense that, giant map. I mean, it's mostly AI that you're going to be fighting rather than human players, but you do encounter human players too, and then all the vehicles and everything from Warzone is pretty much in DMZ. But still a lot of fun, very intense. Those AI can get really tough after a certain point, and you definitely need a good squad in order to actually be successful and do good, because the squad that I ran into was not the best. I mean, they weren't horrible, it's just we weren't communicating with each other, because none of us had mics, and that's just what happens. So that's what I would recommend is, it's definitely more fun to play with people you know, or people who at least, have a microphone on, but the nature of public matchmaking, you're not always going to get that, so it is what it is. Definitely stick close to your teammates. Don't stray too far away from each other, because that's when things kind of went south for me and my team during this match. So 3 years later, it's still a lot of fun to play. Obviously, there isn't necessarily much reason to play it because of the fact that it was abandoned and nothing's really being done with it. It's still free to play, though, so if you want to give it a try, there's no risk aside from taking up a bunch of storage space. But if you already have, especially Modern Warfare 2 installed, then it's obvious. Like, you should definitely just give it a chance and try it out. Because, like I said, I had Modern Warfare 2 since launch day and never really played DMZ until now. So I say give it a shot. A lot of people think that the reason why DMZ failed was because of its mix between PvP and PvE, which was a unique experience, but also created some problems in the sense that the people who actually played the objectives correctly, like who did the PvE and did like the whole point, like the missions and everything, the PvP players, the griefers, would go on to those players and give them a hard time and kill them and, you know, just get all sweaty and everything. So it was kind of like a bad mix in a lot of ways. Like, some people liked it, that it had both of those elements, but some people felt like because of it, it was just too much of a conflicting, like, vision of what they wanted the game to be. And as a result, for a lot of people, it wasn't nearly as enjoyable as other game modes. And just the overall lack of content, right? Like I said, if they added more, but it was so sporadic, the updates. It was like, I think, Season 3, they finally updated it after it launched, and then they did, like, another thing in Season 5. Like, it was very inconsistent compared to the other modes, so people obviously lost interest, but it was like a catch-22. DMZ's losing players. Oh, well, since it's losing players, we should put less resources and time into it. But it's because of that people aren't playing as much. So it was kind of stupid the way that this game was handled and the way that this mode, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was standalone, but it was never able to be nearly as impactful as Warzone ended up being. So between that and them just clearly not having an obvious vision for what they wanted this mode to be, it fell off pretty quickly. But it still has a very active player base, so I'd say give it a try in 2025. You'll get at least some fun and enjoyment out of it still, 3 years later. Absolutely.